long before Heracles lifted the sky, before Odysseus outwitted gods and monsters. There was another hero, a mortal son of Zeus, a slayer of monsters, a savior of a princess, a name etched in stone and starlight. His name was Perseus. Armed with gifts from the gods and courage all his own, he would face the impossible, to behead Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze turned men to stone. But Perseus wasn't born into glory. His journey began not with power, but with betrayal, exile, and fate. Perseus was born of prophecy. His grandfather, King Acrisius of Argos, heard a terrible oracle. Your daughter's son will be your death. Fearing this future, Acrisius locked his daughter Danae in a bronze chamber hidden from the world. But you can't cage fate, or gods. Zeus, king of Olympus, came to Danae in the form of golden light, and from that divine union, Perseus was born. When Acrisius discovered the child, he dared not kill him directly. So he locked Danae and infant Perseus in a wooden chest and cast them into the sea. But the gods were watching. The chest washed ashore on the island of Seriphos, where a kind fisherman, Dictys, took them in. They lived in peace until Dictys's brother, King Polydectes, became obsessed with Danae. To get Perseus out of the way, Polydectes hatched a cruel plan. He pretended to marry another woman and demanded gifts from all the men of the island, especially Perseus. "I want nothing less than the head of Medusa, one of the Gorgons," he said with a sneer. It was meant as a death sentence. But Perseus, bound by honor and pride, accepted the challenge. Perseus could not do this alone. No mortal could face Medusa, a monster so fearsome her gaze turned all who looked upon her to stone. But the gods had other plans. Athena, goddess of wisdom, guided him. Hermes, the swift messenger, armed him. They gifted Perseus with a shining bronze shield, polished like a mirror, to avoid Medusa's gaze. A curved sword sharp enough to sever stone. Winged sandals to fly like the wind. Hades' helm of invisibility to vanish from sight. And a magical satchel to safely carry the Gorgon's head. These were not just tools, they were symbols of divine favor. Perseus was no longer just a boy from Argos. He was a hero of Olympus. Perseus journeyed to the edge of the world, to a place no map could mark. The lair of the Gorgons. 3 sisters, winged and serpentine, with fangs and eyes that cursed all who met them. 2 were immortal. 1 was not. Medusa. Guided by the Grey Eye, 3 ancient sisters who shared a single eye, Perseus learned Medusa's location and flew to her lair while she slept. With Athena guiding his hand and using his shield as a mirror, he crept closer, never meeting her gaze. And in one swift, silent strike, he severed Medusa's head. From her neck sprang 2 beings, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysa, a golden warrior, children born of Poseidon and Medusa. The other Gorgons awoke, shrieking in rage, but Perseus vanished with Hades' helm, escaping into the sky. On his return journey, Perseus saw a figure chained to a rock, a princess, Andromeda, offered as a sacrifice to a sea monster, punishment for her mother Cassiopeia's vanity. Without hesitation, Perseus soared on his winged sandals, drew the head of Medusa from his satchel, and turned the beast to stone. Andromeda was saved, and soon became Perseus's bride. The hero who had set out alone now returned with a god's favor, a monster's head, and a queen at his side. Perseus returned to Seriphos, where King Polydectes had grown crueler in his absence. In the king's court, Perseus unveiled the head of Medusa, turning Polydectes and his allies to stone. He gave the throne to Dictys, the humble fisherman who had saved him, and returned the divine weapons to the gods. But fate still lingered. He traveled back to Argos, where his grandfather Acrisius had fled, still fearing the prophecy. And there, by chance or destiny, Perseus accidentally struck and killed him during a sporting event, fulfilling the very prophecy Acrisius had tried to escape. Even heroes cannot outrun fate. Perseus and Andromeda ruled wisely. They had many children, and their bloodline lived on. From their lineage would come Heracles, the mightiest of heroes. Pegasus would become a symbol of divine inspiration. And the head of Medusa, mounted on Athena's shield, would protect warriors for generations. After death, Perseus was placed among the stars as the constellation Perseus, forever shining above the earth. He was the first great mortal hero. Not born perfect, but made powerful through courage, humility, and divine aid. Perseus was more than a monster slayer. He was proof that a mortal, even one cast into the sea as a child, could change fate itself. He walked with gods, faced death, saved kingdoms, and brought light into a world of stone and shadow. In every mirror, in every tale of courage and cunning, the legend of Perseus endures. He is Perseus, hero of Greece, slayer of Medusa, rider of Pegasus. If you enjoyed this dive into the story of Perseus, then please do us a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Thank you for sticking around, and we hope to see you on the next one.